Hi, I'm Daws, editor at TechForge Media, and with me today is Dr. Jaime Gonzalo, who is the VP of Huawei Consumer Mobile Services for the Europe region. So Jaime, right from the start, is the growth of HarmonyOS and Huawei Mobile Services meeting your expectations?
So expectations could be evaluated from two fronts, the qualitative front and the quantitative one. I would say that from the quantitative side, the Huawei services and HarmonyOS ecosystem is the third largest in the world, currently counting with 730 million monthly active devices connecting them, and with 6 million developers registered, which is quite remarkable considering the challenge that Huawei has been confronting recently and how we started for very humble origins. That's from the quantitative side. From the qualitative side, everyone using Huawei devices will notice that there's a constant improvement. We have a better product, better content onboarding, great offers. For example, to give you an example, one of the popular offers we have for a popular app like Tinder, when accessing from another ecosystem, you just get the normal experience. When accessing from Huawei, you get 6 months VIP for free, just because it was downloaded from AppGallery. So in that sense, we try to improve that sense of premium and quality and close any previous gap that we had in the past. So from those perspectives, I think we can consider that, yes, the answer is that it's meeting expectations, but we hope to keep receiving constructive feedback from users, partners, and analysis, because there is a lot to learn and a lot to keep developing, and we are very motivated seeing the great reaction that AppGallery is having among both partners and users.
Yeah, since you had to obviously ditch Google Mobile Services due to the sanctions, it's been impressive to see the adoption of Huawei Mobile Services growing so quickly. You went into it a little bit there, but what other advantages does Huawei Mobile Services offer over Google Mobile Services?
So I will extend a little more your question. Huawei Mobile Services provides advantages beyond the standard Android experience, both for developers, but also for users. So for users, besides the exclusive gifts that I mentioned, Tinder and others, and games and so on, we provide several things that cannot be found so easily in mainstream channels. For example, all the services of Huawei were planned with privacy by design. Privacy, when we talk about privacy, some users say, well, I don't care about privacy because I have nothing to hide. Well, I heard someone saying, when you lock your door exiting your house, it's not exactly because you have something to hide, but because you want to protect yourself and those around you. Privacy is the same. Privacy is about protecting yourself and people around you, because once that wrong information goes online, it's in there forever. So it's about being protected in the long run. In that sense, Huawei takes an important role in the protection of privacy of the users, even those that are not aware of the importance of privacy. For example, when navigating our Petal Maps application or browsing with Petal Search, the default configuration is incognito. We don't want to know about who people are. And what we focus more is on what they like to do, what kind of content you consume, what kind of games you like, and not your gender, your age, and so on. So in terms of privacy, highly protected, especially for kids, etc., about managing information and protection for content. For developers, the vision of the ecosystem transcends beyond what is the smartphone vision. Huawei is pioneering in the sector of IoT and connecting devices. And as such, as we see, smartphone industry is stuck without growth since 2016, whereas IoT is growing strongly. And as such, we offer a free top-notch development kit and support for those developers that try to grasp this growth of the IoT environments. To give you an example, we recently completed our integration with Strava that combines our health application, which is highly popular even among users of non-Huawei devices, with our smartwatches, which are growing in popularity, with our AppGallery ecosystem. So it's about combining, creating smart scenarios beyond just using one app in one app store in one device. That's, I think, the bet where Huawei is playing strongly and where we invite developers to join us and together build the next level of innovation in IoT.
So Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg set out his vision, of course, for the metaverse. They should be this open, interoperable platform. Unlike the vision set out by like Apple. What is Huawei's position on that?
There are companies that are known for their hunger for disruption and innovation in areas that are still blurry in the consumer minds. Huawei is a customer-centric type of company. As such, we are an innovator, but in the sense of a problem solver. We are more interested in making our digital lives more accessible and comfortable, improving the technological status quo, so to say, of real existing needs. As such, well, to give you an example, we improved photography in dark environments because we saw that people struggle with that. It was a real need, and we made this advanced technology. So as such, we are not willing to so much disrupt on areas that maybe don't answer to actual needs of the users, and more focus on those that they currently have. In the future, once that we see that there's adoption and need and that there are struggles with accessing other sectors, we will start building the solutions. But we let that innovation focus and mentality to the gurus of that level of expertise, where we focus on making the actual today lives more comfortable. That being said, Huawei has always been a strong defendant of openness, collaboration, as you were referring to, the metaverse from the interoperability of metaverse from Meta. What we look for is for win-win situations for creative developers and users. So in that sense, I don't think Huawei will go into a closed, non-interoperative ecosystem. We have always been open to cooperation.
If we return back to the privacy topic, Huawei is currently delivering around 3 billion ad requests every day, predicts that to grow a further 400% in 2023. How is the company balancing delivering value for developers with consumers' growing concerns about their digital privacy?
We briefly touched upon privacy before, but to illustrate a bit more on the privacy by design that I mentioned, all the data for European users, for example, is stored within European servers. We have earned important privacy seals like Europrice in our services. We even if there's a trend of punishing and having fines in big tech companies across Europe, Huawei has received 0 fines in all this period. And I don't think it's because we are incredibly lucky. I think we just do things in a very respectful way. We even have what we call a transparency center in Brussels that allows anyone to go and check the code of Huawei. So in that sense, it's a very transparent and very safe environment. Regarding Huawei ads, the difference between managing ads from an app store living in someone else's hardware and our ecosystem is that we have a constant flow of information about organic use of the user. It's very privacy protected, as we said, so we don't care who the user is, but more what are their trends, what do they like to do. In that sense, our advertising moves away from an invasive spam and more into pertinent recommendations. As I said before, it's not about who you are, but about what you like to do. So those recommendations can be very easily configured by the user in our ecosystem. So for example, in our browser, not only the navigation is incognito, but with one click, you can already stop all the cooking and tracking capabilities. You control all the elements in the websites you visit, etc. We have now implemented a security center within MUI 13 that helps you remove the location information and other information from your photos, which are automatically registered otherwise in Android environments. So we are very much letting the user configure the level of data and information they provide. But in our sense, we have built a first-party data, non-cookie oriented, non-social and personal data oriented that keeps the respect of privacy while offering very good targeting capabilities. That translates into very interesting, first of all, CPIs for developers. In average, we are about 20% lower than in saturated channels, and very good for eCPM for publishers. That also translates in about 20-30% higher payout rates than in Android average.
It's a very admirable approach that I feel like it's going to very much go down well with users. So of course, right across Europe and indeed much of the world, we're facing a very challenging economic environment. How is Huawei working alongside its partners to support them during this time?
It is true that not only the present, but also the coming near future has a lot of uncertainty. The advantage, or some of the advantages of partnering with Huawei, are its versatility. We are not just an app store or a seller of phones or tablets. We are cooperating with the likes of Adidas Runtastic, which combines capabilities for phone and watches. Our watches combined with FreeBuds that offer service of music and podcast to be played without the need of a phone, etc. But besides the versatility, we also have the coverage, which means that the current situation in some parts of Europe is affecting the business of some e-commerce partners, for example, that suddenly couldn't rely on their strong territories because they were very affected and they had a strong business loss. So we help them explore and pilot other territories and quickly expand within the AppGallery ecosystem into new user audiences. One of the important parts is that, unlike other ecosystems, Huawei doesn't only focus on the awareness part. So we don't just show ads in terms of banners. We have built the capabilities to grow all the steps of the user funnel. We can also incentivize, I'm telling you because some partners, they are okay with awareness, they have enough user base, but they struggle with monetization, for example, or retention. They have an important churn of users. So what we offer is a 360 degrees level of support to businesses to grow all of these steps of the funnel, obviously with free development tools, free developer support, teams across multiple countries and continents, and also business advice. We operate like a growth agency or like a marketing agency. We offer training for free and a large variety of modules and slots in across our whole ecosystem. That goes, as Peter recently said, my colleague in charge of marketing, in a speech. We cover basically the moment from the user when they wake up and they check their phone, when they go jogging in the morning, they go to work with their laptop, and in the evening when they are in front of their smart screen. So we can cover any part of the business and the life cycle of the users in a non-intrusive way.
And finally, what's next for Huawei, AppGallery, HMS, HarmonyOS, your whole ecosystem over the next year?
So AppGallery and our ecosystem are in ever-changing movement. We are always ahead, always improving. When we look at how our store looked 1 year ago, we feel at the same time we feel a bit of shame and at the same time a bit of happiness because we see how much we progressed. It's like looking photos of our youth 20 years ago. You know, it's at the same time happy and at the same time worrying. So in that sense, we keep growing and we keep developing. So the immediate plan for AppGallery is to close even more the gap that we have in our ecosystem in weaker areas compared to other ecosystems, and continue boosting the value in the areas where we are surpassing other ecosystems. For example, we should expect further breakthroughs in areas like smart scenarios and IoT. A larger amount of apps joining our ecosystem. So as we speak, to give a reference of how many apps we have, we don't have as many apps as maybe Google Play in our AppGallery. That's true. Google Play has around 3 million apps, I think. A user has in their phone, any user has in their phone around 100 apps. So with needing 100 apps, having an offer of 3 million is a little bit, as we say in Spain, like killing flies with a tank. You know, it's maybe an overkill, right? We have 220,000 apps fully integrated in AppGallery, and those apps account for about 90% of the most popular apps in the Western countries, with the remaining 10% very accessible from AppGallery either way. So we have closed that gap, but we will keep seeing full integration in apps like Tinder or Revolut, etc., apps that are a peak of innovation in their domain. We should see the investment in areas of our flagship devices. For example, in our camera, we recently obtained, literally earlier this week or late last week, we obtained the best smartphone camera score in history from the company DxO Mark for our latest device, Mate 50 Pro. And what we try is basically to keep counting on the support of our partners and users to keep discovering and expanding the experience that Huawei has built for them. Basically, we will never claim that we have finished our work. We will never say that AppGallery is complete. We always want to discover new areas to keep improving. Furthermore, as you mentioned, what will metaverse or further IoT adoption bring? It's difficult to predict, but we will keep a very attentive eye and a very quick reactivity when that happens.
That's brilliant. So that's everything from me today, Jamie. So thank you for coming along and chatting to me today. It was a very interesting conversation, and hopefully we'll get to catch up again soon.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Very good questions, and thanks to your audience for the attention.